Hey guys, welcome back to another video on the channel. This week it's Gran Turismo Daily Race B, which is at Suzuka. 5 laps on the racing hard tyre with the GR3 cars, which I think is a really good combination. Suzuka's a fantastic track for these sort of high-speed vehicles. With the high-speed tyre, the medium tyre, it also adds a little bit of unpredictability, which is why this race was so much fun, and I've got a few clips for you here today. As you may have noticed on the intro, I have finally been promoted to the A rank on GT7, which I really struggled with previously, but as previously mentioned on my other videos, I'm currently using the controller at the moment, which is really helping with my consistency as opposed to the wheel. And in this first race, you can see the chap leading the race made a mistake here in turn 1, which made me get a lot closer to him, and you're going to see this repeatedly throughout these races that I show you. A lot of mistakes, a lot of errors, just like another one there. I was able to sweep around the outside and capitalise on that. So this is a repeated theme in Daily Race B this week, again, which makes it really enjoyable because you don't know what's going to happen. It's unpredictable, and it just keeps you on your toes, gives you that sort of hope and belief, even if you're P4, P5, that you can still come back into the race. So this is the first race, and I managed to nick P1 and just maintain that position with some good consistency and managed to bring it home. So a good start to the Daily Race B, and I thought it was a good opportunity to get my rank up, and you can see here that now we're getting some A+ drivers in the lobby, which is nice. I've never had that consistently previously, so it's always nice, and it's just a reminder to sort of step up your game. You can see me flicking through the menus there. I had the brake balance set a little bit towards the rear, just so that the car was a little bit playful in those corners when you're braking, when you're trail braking, and it worked quite nicely. So that's a little tip that you can try. And again, another theme in these races, you'll see when I begin the race, I'm not super aggressive, just trying to take it easy and follow the cars in front. It's quite difficult through these first few corners at Suzuka. When you're following a car, you lose a bit of downforce, you lose a bit of front end grip, it just understeers, so you just have to be a little bit careful, and realistically you're not going to take anyone over in these sequence of corners. It's just too risky. Suzuka is a really difficult track. I know it's a traditional race circuit, but there's a little margin for error, as you'll see again throughout these races. If you touch a curb or a grass patch or something, it's really difficult to recover from. So it really forces you to concentrate through these 5 laps. And again here, trying to get on the inside of the Polish chap here, but that Beetle's got really good traction out of that slow corner, and he managed to get away. Or I could follow him through here and see if I could dive down the inside, but again it's a bit of a risky manoeuvre. I thought better of it. Again, I thought I'd just keep the car in good condition, stay consistent, and my chance will come. You can see him sliding around, so I thought again, got a bit of a chance here to do maybe a Fernando Alonso against Michael Schumacher. Really risky, really tight manoeuvre. I braked early, he turned in and he's gone wide. Again, I gave him the space, keeping it nice and clean, trying not to be too aggressive. Got 2 guys behind me, really close. Again, managed to get a good exit out of here. He's sliding all over the place. That allowed me to get really close to him. Back here, come out of the slipstream, and I'm just going to hold him to that position, hold him to the inside. Again, tricky corner here, just heavy on the braking and just pinning it to the inside so he can't get the old switcheroo. So nice racing there. not always the case, but as you do progress through the ranks, you find that generally speaking the drivers are better and they do tend to give you space. Again, you can see a mistake here on turn 1 on the following lap. The key thing is, during this race in Suzuka, is knowing that you will make a small mistake at some point in the race. It's sort of inevitable. It's how you recover from it. It's about staying focused and just trying to get the car back on track as quickly as possible and not follow it with another mistake. You can see here these two guys battling away in turn 1. Now I know this guy's going to be slow, but I didn't want to overdo it. As I mentioned previously, it's really difficult to overtake throughout these corners, so there's no point overdoing it. Just take it easy, take your time, and your chance will come. Again, really having to feather the throttle. The thing about the race here today, again, it's a bad mistake there, and again, I literally did the opposite of what I said. I was trying too hard in those corners, and I paid the price for it. So I lost position. 1 lap later, guy ahead loses control, and I managed to save that slide. Again, with the controller, I've said it many times previously, but I just find it a lot more consistent. It's a lot easier to save the slides, a lot less frustrating, because I'm not sure about you guys, but that has to be one of the most annoying things, when you completely lose control and lose lots of positions. So again, another race we went into, racing with higher ranked people now. Back in P5, got the same Polish guy up ahead. He switched cars. He's picked, I can't see what that is, I'm not sure if he's Subaru, but I've stuck with the Nissan GTR. It's a fantastic car for this race, I think. Really good in a straight line. So if you've got a Porsche behind you, you know you're not going to have to worry too much. And in the corners it's pretty nippy as well, so a good car if you're maybe struggling with some consistency. Definitely worth trying out. I mean, the Porsche is great as well. You can see here I'm being quite sloppy in these corners, but just trying to keep it together on the first lap, which is not always easy. And this corner is really tricky. You try and come out of it in second gear, but if you put too much power down, your tyres will be spinning. But you'll get that feedback with the DualSense controller, which is helpful. And again, managed to take over the British guy again. He's dropped 2 positions, so that's good. Up into P4, trying to hold it together. Following that, I got a penalty exceeding track limits. But again, you can see here, this guy, unfortunately, when racing with him a few times in the daily race, I can see he's a really fast driver, but he does make a few mistakes, and I can see it would be very frustrating for him. So heading into the 130R, I was slow up that corner, so that's why he hit me. A little bit frustrated, but I thought again, just stay calm, stay concentrated, and opportunities will come. Luckily, however, it seems as if he is a nice chap, and he slowed down a little bit, gave me the old indicator, let me overtake him, which I thought was quite nice. As I mentioned, so whenever you go in high ranked lobbies, I feel overall the drivers are more courteous and you get better driving. Not always the case, as you'll see later on in this video, so make sure you stay for the other races. Little surprise in there. Oh, that's the chap I was talking about earlier. He's just, same chap went off, unfortunately. He must be very angry. But when it comes to Suzuka, on the hard tyre, you really have to feather the throttle and be brave in certain corners. Just holding the throttle, feathering it, trying not to let the wheel spin, and that's where you gain the speed. So even through here, this first corner, it's just about being nice and gentle. If you have a look at the indicator on the right hand side at the bottom, you'll see throughout these corners it's just being really gentle, feathering the throttle and trying to gain as much time as you can through these corners. This chap just went off, so again I knew I shouldn't have pushed too hard, but he just really positioned his car quite nicely to stop me from overtaking him. and it was the final lap. I tried to follow him and tried to stick with him, but there was no other opportunity for the rest of the race, so managed to bring it home in P3. Pretty happy with that. Again, another reasonably clean race, another consistent race, which I'm happy about, and my rank is slowly going up. Into the next race now. Again, really interesting this one, because you'll see the number one chap is a notorious Kimi, which I've only seen in YouTube videos, and now I'm seeing him in the same daily race, which was really interesting. Another few people that I've recognised is Rory, who does some live streaming. He's quite popular on YouTube with Gran Turismo videos. He was up there, so first time really racing against well-known people, and I'm in P6 with a reasonable qualifying time. I could do a lot better. My optimum was, I think, was a 1:50.1, but very frustrating. In my first race with these guys, I thought I could maybe keep up with them, but I got punted in the first corner, which was a little bit annoying, to be honest. But that's just how it goes in GT7. So I thought, again, to stay calm, nothing too crazy, and my opportunity will come. Again, just retaken 2 positions, so from P14 to P12, and now it's just about a recovery drive, following the guys in front cleanly, don't do anything too drastic, and hopefully the race should come back to me. So I'm just behind this group of cars at the moment, bit of a train, just trying to see if I can stick with them. I can see Kimi's up top with Rory in 3rd place, and I can only imagine what Kimi's up to, probably causing a bit of havoc. But at the moment that's of no interest to me. I'm just trying to focus on the race and pick up another position from what seems to be a penalty for the Swedish champ. Heading into this corner. Again, this is quite a tricky corner, but if you roll it in 2nd gear and just keep some throttle, you'll be able to get out quite nicely. Again, pick up another position from another error, which, as I mentioned, is just the theme of this video. On to lap 2, and I can see quite a lot of position change and a yellow flag, and unfortunately it looks like Rory was involved in an incident with Kimi, I would assume, and that's the only cause for that incident, and I would imagine he's very frustrated by that, and he's probably having to battle through the back of the field. I myself, again, like I said, just continued on trying to stay concentrated, set the fastest lap, which wasn't that fast anyway, picking up some positions, now into P7, following the guys ahead who are battling quite hard. So it's not a bad recovery drive from P14 to P7, and that's pretty reasonable in a skilled lobby. You know, these guys are all pretty good, so I'm quite happy with that. It's the first time I'm really mixing it with guys at a high level, or higher level rather, and again just picking up another position, so not really complain too much, but it just goes back to the point that consistency is super duper important, and I've just been finding that recently. The other thing I wanted to touch on is I am thinking to eventually upgrade my equipment to use a direct drive wheel, for example the Logitech G Pro wheel, which I've researched a lot and it seems like it's got really good reviews. Just wanted to see if anyone had any recommendations on particular equipment that they enjoy or they like to use, because at the moment, to be honest, I'm having quite a lot of fun mixing it with these guys, ranking up, even using the controllers. So that's essentially what sim racing is about, having fun, enjoying it. It's just a, you know, a break away as a hobby. It shouldn't be a burden, you shouldn't be getting too frustrated with it, because if you're not having fun with it, then what's the point? So if anyone does have any recommendations on their sim rig equipment, such as the cockpits or stands to go with direct drives, I would appreciate if you can drop a comment and recommend any. I'd be really grateful, just to learn from your own experiences with GT7. So yeah, proceeding through the race, currently in P6, not a bad position considering what happened on the first lap. Following these guys up ahead, it hasn't turned out too bad. My worry is if I myself came across Kimi, because I'm not sure exactly how I would react. I know some people get really aggressive and try to punt him off the track, but whenever that's happened previously, I always find that I end up in a worse situation. So I'm just hoping I don't really come across him this race. But luckily, again, seemed to be reasonably consistent during the race. Nothing too crazy has happened apart from the first lap. Managed to keep it together. There's no tyre wear, so there's nothing to worry about in this daily race. No fuel consumption, so you can go flat out, which helps. But again, you just have to be really, really on it, focused, because again, even this corner is really tricky because it's very easy just to go off on the artificial grass, green area, and you completely lose grip and lose a bunch of time. So you have to stay on it. And even the 130R here, I think a good way to tackle it is just lift your foot off the throttle, let it turn, and then back on the throttle again. There's no need to brake. And just let the car flow through here, and you should be okay. So now heading into the final lap, the guy behind is not too far behind, 0.7 seconds. Again, the good thing about the GTR is you don't have to constantly be looking in your mirrors when you have, again, a Porsche behind you, because they're not really going to steam past you. Not like last week that we saw at the Grand Valley with that Ford car, which was absolutely ridiculously quick on Daily Race C. I tried racing with a Porsche, but I was getting overtaken so easily, and even if I was good out the corners, you know, there was no chance, even with slipstream, passing that Ford car. So I'm hoping that with this race there's no metas, but to be honest, the Porsche and GTR are looking good, so there is a little bit of variety, which is good. Heading into these two tricky corners, I managed to save myself because it looked like I was about to go off, which would have really ruined the race. And this guy's right, really hot on my heels. I thought I'd have to go defensive into this corner, so I went on the inside, so he couldn't overtake me there. And lo and behold, here he is, Kimi. Not sure what happened to him, don't really care, to be honest. But that's us into P5, so very happy with that. I just need to bring it home now, and I think I can be quite proud with first race with top drivers, managed to keep my own and get a decent result, so very happy about that. So hopefully it's been a beneficial video, hope you enjoyed it, and like I said, leave a comment, it'd be interesting to hear your own views, and I'll see you in the next one.